York City, the city that never sleeps, the Big Apple, the melting pot of the world. It's a place where dreams are chased, fortunes are made, and stories unfold on every corner. From its towering skyline that pierces the clouds to its vibrant streets pulsing with energy, NYC isn't just a city, it's a living legend. Whether you've walked its avenues 1,000 times or are dreaming of your first visit, this is the ultimate deep dive into everything that makes New York City one of the most fascinating places on Earth. We'll explore its rich history, iconic landmarks, breathtaking architecture, diverse neighborhoods, cultural traditions, the rivers that shape it, the people who call it home, and a treasure trove of surprising facts that will make you see the city in a whole new light. Buckle up. This is going to be a wild ride through the heart of the Empire State. Let's start at the very beginning. Long before skyscrapers dominated the horizon, the land we now call New York City was home to the Lenape people, indigenous inhabitants who thrived here for thousands of years. European arrival changed everything. In 1624, Dutch settlers established a trading post on the southern tip of Manhattan, naming it New Amsterdam. By 1626, the story goes that Peter Minuit bought the island from the Lenape for goods worth about 60 guilders, often mythologized as trinkets, though it was more likely a formal agreement. The Dutch built a fort, laid out streets, and turned it into a bustling fur trading hub. But in 1664, the British seized control without much of a fight, renaming it New York in honor of the Duke of York, who would later become King James II. The city grew rapidly under British rule, becoming a key port and commercial center. Fast forward to the American Revolution. New York played a pivotal role. George Washington was inaugurated as the first president here in 1789 at Federal Hall on Wall Street, making NYC the nation's first capital. The city boomed in the 19th century thanks to the Erie Canal, which connected the Hudson River to the Great Lakes and turned New York into the gateway to the American heartland. Waves of immigrants poured in, Irish fleeing the potato famine, Italians, Germans, Eastern European Jews, and later Chinese, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and countless others. By 1898, the modern metropolis was born through consolidation, uniting the 5 boroughs, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, and Staten Island, into the city of Greater New York. It survived fires, riots, economic crashes, and even the devastation of 9/11, always rising stronger. Today, NYC stands as a symbol of resilience, innovation, and endless possibility. Geography has always defined the city's character, especially its rivers. To the west flows the mighty Hudson River, a 3-15-mile tidal estuary that connects the city to upstate New York and beyond. It was the lifeblood of early trade, carrying goods and people into the heart of the continent. On the east side lies the East River, not a true river but a 16-mile tidal strait linking New York Bay to Long Island Sound. It's dotted with islands like Roosevelt Island and Rikers, and spanned by iconic bridges. The Harlem River to the north completes the watery embrace, separating Manhattan from the Bronx. These waterways have shaped everything from shipping routes to recreation. Think ferries crisscrossing the harbor, or kayakers paddling past the Statue of Liberty. They've also inspired poets, artists, and dreamers, from the foggy mornings along the Hudson to the glittering reflections of the skyline at dusk. Speaking of that skyline, it's one of the most recognizable in the world, a jagged crown of steel and glass that tells the story of ambition and architectural evolution. New York pioneered the skyscraper in the late 19th century, with early towers like the Flatiron Building, that iconic triangular wedge from 1902, defying gravity on a wedge-shaped lot. The roaring 1920s and 30s brought the golden age of Art Deco, the Chrysler Building with its gleaming spire and eagle gargoyles, and the Empire State Building, which reigned as the world's tallest from 1931 until the 1970s. Its 1,454-foot height, including the antenna, became a symbol of hope during the Great Depression. Today, the skyline has evolved again with modern supertalls. One World Trade Center rises 1,776 feet, symbolizing freedom and resilience after 9/11, as the tallest in the Western Hemisphere. Nearby, Billionaires Row in Midtown boasts pencil-thin residential towers like Central Park Tower, the world's tallest residential building. From the Brooklyn waterfront or a ferry ride, the view is pure magic, a layered masterpiece of history and innovation, where historic spires mingle with gleaming glass facades. No conversation about NYC is complete without its iconic places, the landmarks that draw millions and define the city's soul. Start with the Statue of Liberty, gifted by France in 1886 for America's centennial. Standing 305 feet tall on Liberty Island, she welcomes immigrants and symbolizes freedom with her torch held high. Nearby, Ellis Island processed over 12 million newcomers between 1892 and 1954, many of whose descendants still call New York home. In Manhattan, Central Park is the ultimate urban oasis. 843 acres of meadows, lakes, and paths designed in the 1850s by Frederick Law Olmsted and Calvert Vaux. It's bigger than Monaco and hosts everything from summer concerts to ice skating rinks. Times Square, the crossroads of the world, explodes with neon billboards, Broadway theaters, and throngs of tourists. It's where the famous New Year's Eve ball drops, a tradition since 1907. The Brooklyn Bridge, opened in 1883 as the longest suspension bridge in the world at the time, offers jaw-dropping views and connects two boroughs with its Gothic arches and cable webs. Don't miss Grand Central Terminal's celestial ceiling, the High Line's elevated park on old rail tracks, or the 9/11 memorial's reflecting pools that honor lives lost. These spots aren't just photo ops, they're where history, culture, and everyday life collide. Zoom in closer, and you'll discover NYC's neighborhoods, each a world unto itself, reflecting the city's incredible diversity. Manhattan is the glittering core. Lower Manhattan's financial district buzzes with Wall Street traders and the Charging Bull statue. Soho and Tribeca boast cast-iron lofts and trendy galleries. Midtown hums with Rockefeller Center's Christmas tree and the United Nations headquarters. Uptown brings the elegance of the Upper East Side's museums, like the Met and Guggenheim, while Harlem pulses with jazz history and soul food. The West Village feels like a European enclave with its winding streets and brownstones. Cross into Brooklyn, the borough of cool. Williamsburg thrives with street art, hip cafes, and waterfront parks. Park Slope offers family-friendly brownstones and Prospect Park. Dumbo delivers industrial chic views of the Manhattan skyline. Queens, the most diverse borough, shines in Astoria's Greek tavernas, Flushing's bustling Chinatown, the largest outside Asia, and Jackson Heights' global markets. The Bronx, birthplace of hip-hop in the 1970s thanks to DJ Kool Herc's block parties, is home to the Yankees Stadium, the Bronx Zoo, and vibrant Latino culture in areas like Mott Haven. Staten Island, reachable by the iconic Free Ferry, feels more suburban with beaches, parks, and historic homes, yet it's quintessentially New York with its working-class pride and views back to the harbor. No matter where you wander, each neighborhood has its own rhythm, from stoop-side chats and Bed-Stuy to food trucks lining Queens streets. Culture in New York is a non-stop symphony of influences. It's the true melting pot. Over 800 languages are spoken here, more than anywhere else on the planet. Immigrants from every corner have shaped it, from Italian feasts in Little Italy to Caribbean carnivals in Brooklyn. Food is the ultimate unifier. A slice of pizza, New York style, thin and foldable of course, a bagel with schmear, dim sum in Chinatown, or street halal carts serving up chicken and rice. The arts scene is unmatched. Broadway's theaters have launched legends since the early 1900s. Museums like MoMA and the Met house world-class collections, and music birthed here includes jazz in Harlem, punk in the East Village, and hip-hop in the Bronx. Traditions keep the spirit alive. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade since 1924, with its giant balloons, the West Indian American Day Carnival's colorful parades, or the San Gennaro Feast's Italian street fair. New Year's Eve in Times Square, with that glittering ball drop, unites the world in celebration. Even everyday rituals, like hailing a yellow cab or grabbing coffee from a bodega, feel like cultural touchstones. At its heart, though, NYC is about the people. Over 8 million residents make it the most populous U.S. city, with 1 in every 38 Americans calling it home. It's a place of dreamers, Wall Street executives in sharp suits, sharing sidewalks with artists in paint-splattered jeans, families from every background pushing strollers through parks, and newcomers chasing the American dream. Diversity isn't just a buzzword, it's the fabric of daily life. African American, Hispanic, Asian, and white communities intermingle in ways that create fusion everything from food trucks to festivals. Famous faces who've called it home range from historical icons like Alexander Hamilton to modern stars like Jay-Z or Lady Gaga. But it's the everyday New Yorkers, the subway riders, the shop owners, the teachers, who embody the grit, hustle, and heart. They navigate crowds with purpose, offer directions with a smile or a shrug, and prove that in this concrete jungle, community thrives. And now, for the fun facts that make NYC even more unforgettable. Did you know the Empire State Building has its own zip code? Or that the subway system, opened in 1904, is one of the oldest and largest in the world, with 472 stations and hundreds of miles of track, running 24/7, just like the city. Oysters were once so abundant that their shells paved streets in the 1800s. Central Park has hosted everything from free Shakespeare performances to protests. The Brooklyn Bridge was the first steel wire suspension bridge, and in its early days, animals like elephants crossed it to prove its strength. NYC has more millionaires than any city globally, yet also some of the world's most expensive real estate alongside rent-stabilized apartments. It's the birthplace of the ice cream cone, the hot dog, thanks to German immigrants, and even the first U.S. public library system. And get this, you're statistically more likely to be bitten by a New Yorker than a shark, though that's probably just a nod to the city's fast-paced reputation. From its humble Dutch roots to its role as a global powerhouse, New York City has always been a place of reinvention. Its rivers cradle the dreams. Its skyline inspires awe, its neighborhoods welcome all, and its people fuel the fire. Whether you're marveling at the lights of Times Square, strolling through Central Park's greenery, or savoring a slice on a street corner, NYC reminds us that anything is possible if you have the hustle. So next time you hear "I love New York," you'll know why. It's not just a slogan, it's a way of life. The city that never sleeps is waiting for your story to unfold. What part of New York calls to you most? The history, the hustle, or the endless surprises? Whatever it is, one thing's for sure: once you've experienced New York, it stays with you forever.